There's a place, hidden deep in the woods of Louisville, Kentucky. A massive Gothic building, that rises like a tombstone above the trees. Its windows are dark. Its hallways, silent. But those who enter say, it never truly sleeps. This is Waverly Hills Sanatorium. A place once built to heal, but quickly became a warehouse of death. Thousands died here. Not quietly, and not peacefully. Their suffering stained the walls, echoing through time. And even today, long after the last patient was wheeled away, visitors say, something still walks those halls. But what happened here, that left such a terrifying mark? Why do people say Waverly Hills is alive with the dead? Let's find out on today's video. Welcome to our weird world, where the strangest stories become reality. If you love these kinds of tales, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell. This way, you'll be notified whenever new content comes out, and you won't miss any of the world's deepest mysteries. Now let's dive in on today's new story. In the early 1900s, tuberculosis was sweeping through the US like a plague. The disease didn't discriminate, it devoured the young, the strong, the hopeful. Kentucky was hit especially hard, due to its climate and poor ventilation in many homes. To stop the spread, officials built isolated treatment centers. One of these was Waverly Hills, opened in 1910 as a small, two-story hospital. But the outbreak kept growing. By the 1920s, a massive, five-story structure was erected on a secluded hill. Patients were brought in by the hundreds. Some would stay for years, others, only days. Waverly Hills was considered state-of-the-art. It had sunrooms, open-air porches, even a rooftop where patients would be rolled out to breathe healing air. But the treatments were experimental and often horrific. Doctors would surgically collapse lungs, to rest them. They'd insert balloons into chests. In some cases, ribs were removed entirely. Patients were strapped down, bled out, or left in freezing temperatures. Some recovered. Most did not. It's estimated that over 6,000 people died within these walls, though some believe the number could be even higher, lost in time. But even as bodies piled up, the world outside had no idea what was really happening inside. So how did they keep the truth hidden? Beneath Waverly Hills lies a passage unlike any other. A sloping tunnel, stretching 500 feet down the hill. Officially, it was used to transport supplies and staff during the harsh winters. But unofficially, it had a far darker purpose. As death rates surged, the hospital couldn't allow patients to see how many were dying. Fear was dangerous, it could spread faster than any disease. So they began using the tunnel to remove the dead in secret. Carts and pulleys were installed. Bodies were placed inside, and silently lowered into waiting hearses below. Day after day, night after night, an endless procession of the dead. Locals began to call it the body chute. Today, the tunnel still exists. Cold, damp, echoing. Those who dare walk it describe a sudden pressure in the chest. Others say they hear footsteps behind them, though no one is there. And a few claim to have seen shapes moving in the shadows, just beyond the reach of their flashlight. But are these ghosts of the long dead, or memories trapped in stone, repeating forever? Of all the haunted spots in Waverly Hills, none is more feared than room 502. The fifth floor was reserved for the mentally ill patients, whose tuberculosis had infected the brain, or who could no longer cope with isolation. Room 502 was the nurse's station. But something happened there, something even staff refused to speak of. According to legend, in 1928, a nurse was found hanging from the ceiling light fixture. She was pregnant, unmarried, and possibly abandoned by a doctor working with her. Official reports are vague. But what's clear is that her death shocked the hospital. No one spoke of it again. A few years later, another nurse reportedly jumped from the window of room 502. Some say she was pushed. Today, visitors feel crushing dread in that room. EMF detectors spike. Cold spots appear. Some report hearing a woman's voice whisper, "I didn't want to die." Even seasoned ghost hunters have refused to stay inside room 502 after nightfall. But is it the room that's haunted, or the emotions that were left behind? Waverly Hills is filled with ghost stories, but a few names are repeated again and again. Timmy is said to be the spirit of a young boy who died of tuberculosis. He appears in the halls, rolling a ball toward visitors. Some have brought toys with them, only to see them move on their own. EVP recorders often pick up a faint giggle. Then there's the Shadow Man, a dark, featureless figure who darts between doorways, often seen in peripheral vision. He never speaks, never approaches, but he watches. Other stories speak of a faceless woman roaming the kitchen, bleeding from the wrists. Of doors slamming shut. Of voices screaming from the walls. In one case, a group of paranormal investigators captured footage of a full-bodied apparition walking across a hallway. When they rushed to the spot, there was nothing. But what if these spirits aren't trapped? What if Waverly Hills has become something else entirely, a beacon, calling to the dead? After closing in 1961, Waverly Hills was briefly used as a nursing home, until reports of abuse and neglect forced it to shut again in 1981. Then came the decay. Vandals, satanic graffiti, and collapsing ceilings. In the late 1990s, the site was purchased by preservationists. Today, it runs as a tourist site, ghost hunting attraction, and haunted Halloween event. But strange things still happen. Guests faint for no reason. Phones and cameras die suddenly. People report being scratched, shoved, or surrounded by sudden silence. Some mediums believe the sanatorium is a spiritual vortex, a place where the veil between worlds is unusually thin. But others believe it's something worse, that Waverly Hills feeds on grief, that decades of death left a scar too deep to heal. So the question remains, is Waverly Hills haunted, or has it become something more? Something alive? In the end, Waverly Hills isn't just a haunted hospital. It's a place that watched thousands die, and never forgot them. Whether you believe in ghosts or not, the fear people feel there is real. The screams, the shadows, and the chill that never leaves. Something lingers in those halls. And if you ever visit, especially after midnight, just remember, not all the patients ever left. Would you walk through the death tunnel alone? Let us know in the comments. Subscribe to our Weird World for more haunted or abandoned places, strange stories, and unexplained mysteries. Because the world might be weirder than you think.